Hello everyone, let's talk about today's and the next couple of days energy patterns. First of all, we find Mars on Beta Centauri, the celestial centaur. I am in the process of trying to make a, 1 second, we need another picture here, in the process of trying to tell you why the centaur image is the best image or very profound image to describe karmic wounds and the potential to heal from them. And today, Mars is aligned with Agena, which is Beta Centauri. The Centaur, the celestial centaur, is a southern constellation. We never see it on the northern hemisphere, only if we are in New Zealand or South America, South Africa, or somewhere in the south. It's a brilliant constellation, very close to the Southern Cross, one of the nicest ones. And actually, Alpha and Beta Centauri are very close to our system. I think it's barely 24 light years away from us, and Mars is aligned with Agena. This is what I tell you whenever I tell you that sometimes we say that a planet is conjunct a star, and of course it is only conjunct when it is on the ecliptic. So these stars on the ecliptic, I prepared an ecliptical view for you. Usually it's more profound in this way. You can actually see where the planets related to the sun are. And Mars is now at Scorpio 24-25 degrees, which means that in a horoscope picture, you would see it conjunct. But of course, now you can understand that it's never actually conjunct. Nothing can be conjunct Agena. What does it mean for us? What can it help us? Many of you are suffering from all kinds of illnesses and debilitating situations. And one of my best friends in London, Teresa, is having all kinds of problems. And today is the time to heal with will. With the help of will. Whenever a planet is aligned or conjunct with a fixed star, you are able to download its energy pattern. And as Mars is your will and your determination, in Scorpio it's quite strong. Now you can do that if you are suffering from any kind of illness and you need healing, and especially if this illness is related to some sort of karmic wound. Today is the time to do it, and force yourself to heal. What else is happening? Actually, there are 3 planets out of bounds: Mercury, Venus, and the Moon as well. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures because you may have heard that 4 visible planets will be able to be observed on the night sky. I'm going to show that as well. But first, I would like you to see what is happening on the 7th of December, because there are a lot of, actually 3 planetary pictures happening. The first one is happening on the 10th, 11th degree of the signs. This is really like a crooked, lame, again, a trapeze, if you can see that. It's actually, there is a little engine. There's also a couple of dissolved squares. The base of this is the Vesta-Uranus quincunx. And of course, the main protagonist is still the Saturn-Uranus fixed square, which is this year's main astrological feature and word aspect. It will be exact for the 3rd time during Christmas, but it's getting tighter and tighter in the upcoming days and weeks. Saturn-Uranus is always about, but when we usually call this planetary combination the earthquake aspect, because what's happening is that Saturn is trying to keep everything intact and Uranus is blowing up everything and this is what you see in the world. This is kind of dissolved by Vesta, and it's an important dissolution because Saturn Vesta is always about oaths and promises, And Uranus Vesta is how we can get rid of them. So this is one theme of the day. You also have a Vesta Pallas Athena square. This is it's a mutable square, but you can still focus Vesta on anything that is wise and knowledgeable. And then you have the Chiron Lilith conjunction, which is still quite tight. You have this tiny little configuration, which I call angel wing out, and Vesta Lilith is at its apex. So this is one thing. The next thing is happening. Hold on 1 second, I need to find it. At 25, 23, 25 degrees. The main protagonist in this picture is, of course, the Pluto Aries cardinal square, which is this year's karmic astrological main world aspect. It's still there. It's already separating, thank God. So you're getting out of the chaos that it is causing. I spoke about this many times, so I'm not going to repeat myself. You can check previous videos if you are interested in what it is. But it is getting dissolved by the Mars Aries quincunx. On the one hand, this Mars is still close to Agena, but it's already coming out of it because it's at 26 degrees already. Mars is quite fast at the moment. And you have this little engine, which is made up by a quincunx, a square, and a sextile. The proper engine, you find, instead of a sextile, you find a trine. What is Pluto-Venus? According to my master Judy Hall, Pluto-Venus is the emotional black hole, and it describes the feeling that there will never be enough love. This is what we have at the moment, but at the same time, Pluto-Venus is also a potential to be very successful. You can transform whatever you don't like in your monetary or love situation, and at the same time, it is also a success aspect. It provides you successful transformation regarding issues related to Venus. And also you have Jupiter here, and Venus-Jupiter aspects are about big and little luck. A transformation is also involved because Pluto-Jupiter are, well, it's the main success combination really, because Jupiter blows up and enlarges everything there is, and there's nothing ever enough for Pluto. So the combination provides you with enough success and luck energy. That's also on the 7th. And the third configuration is really tiny, and that was also not very big. I need to find it. Let me see where it is. It is around 20 degrees, and this is a really tiny dissolved square involving Mercury, Neptune, and Astrea. Mercury-Neptune squares are funny because they either cause you a lot of accident, so you may be very accident prone, or it's just you're very gullible and everyone is taking you for a ride. Why is this? Because Neptune functions very badly on the human level, on the ordinary everyday level. It usually causes all sorts of pink fogs and deception and drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and all sorts of things. Just like Uranus, which is also a transcendental planet, you don't see it by the naked eye. You need to go up to understand their higher potentials. And the problem is that Mercury is a very everyday planet. It's your everyday communication, your commute, your everyday discourse. And the problem is that when these two meet, it's usually the way to understand it is that you should go up. You should take Mercury one level higher up, and on that dimension, you can actually download the gifts of Neptune. The square doesn't make it possible. So you have to brace yourself for all kinds of deceptions and also maybe road accidents. Luckily, Astrea in Capricorn is providing the dissolution of the square. It's the internal karma breaker. So you may utilize this by actually concentrating on your discourse, on your communication, on your knowledge, and take it on a higher level. And the third thing I wanted to show you, it's also actually becoming important on the 7th. And this is, if you look up, this is what you see around 4 o'clock London time or 5 o'clock Central European time. Just calculate your own time wherever you are. You see 4 visible planets in the western sky: Venus, the moon, the crescent moon, Saturn, and Jupiter. And Venus and the moon are in out of bounds, so they are quite to the south. Venus is very bright, and Saturn is not that bright, but anyhow, you can actually find it in the night sky. And then Jupiter is the second brightest object, of course, after Venus, and the moon is always the brightest, but out of the luminaries, this is what you see. So this is at 4 o'clock London time or 5 o'clock Eastern European time, Central European time, on the 7th, as the moon travels about approximately 12 to 13 degrees on every day. On the 8th, you will find the moon between Saturn and Jupiter. And on the 9th, it will actually overtake Jupiter. Let me see where the 9th is. So you have 3 days to observe this. Here we have, this is again at 5 o'clock Central European time or 4 o'clock London time. After sunset, you will see Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and the moon, which is getting bigger. The crescent of it is getting larger and fatter on those 3 days. So this is what people are talking about in the news as well, that you can observe those 4 visible planets on the 7th, 8th, 9th, and of course further on. This is it. Thank you for listening, and happy karma breaking, and happy turning your luck in towards yourself and be successful. Bye.